it's a really big change when you leave school and enter university. It's a whole new world out there. And lots of students every year take this very, very big leap. But many of us continue to miss school, right? I mean, that's one phase that we're all very emotional about. We always remember that phase. But of course, university has different challenges, different kind of fun. More, you meet people from all kinds of backgrounds and all of that. So yeah, I mean, school and university, two very different places of learning, but fun all the same. Tell me, of school and university, which one do you prefer more?
I prefer school purely because it's more homely, but university also has its perks. But living by yourself, I love it.
You live by yourself?
Yeah. Well, at uni, obviously, I'm not living with my family, so yeah.
What's the best part about that?
Getting to do things in your own time and in your own space.
Yeah.
I think that's the best thing.
Yeah, with no mum and dad watching.
Pretty much.
Okay. Well, what about you? Which one do you prefer, school or university?
I prefer university purely for the fact I like to be independent. I like to do what I want when I want. I'm just not restricted to the same rules living at home or staying in school. It's just doing everything yourself practically at university.
What about you?
I prefer school, but I do enjoy the perks of uni. But school, you just have all your friends there, your home comforts are at home, and it's just easy to get around.
Yeah.
Whereas uni, it's sometimes a bit of a walking thing. Yeah.
Okay. What about you? School or university?
I love university, but prefer school because university is more pressure. You have a billion things going on. You have like a social life. You have like trying to look for a job. You have to get like studying. But while school, uni like really studying and having fun. Or university, I have a lot of other things to think about as well.
Okay. And tell me, all of you are, in your first year, second year, kind of mix of, doing kind of your university life, in the middle of your university life. Tell me, what's the hardest bit about being at university? What do you find is something that, is a real challenge for you?
I think the difference is that your lecturers won't pressure you to do work. So if you want to pass, you have to do it. You have to be self-motivated. Whereas kind of at school, you're forced to do the work, but you have to do the work yourself. You're basically left to do everything yourself.
Yeah. And do you find it quite hard to sort of motivate yourself, to kind of tell yourself that, gosh, I have to do this much, studying every day? And what course are you doing?
I'm doing design engineering. I don't mind it because I really like it, but I know some of my friends, if they don't like one of their modules, they find it hard to motivate themselves. I'm lucky because I like my course, but some people aren't.
Yeah. Okay. So motivating yourself, that's a really hard part at university. What about you?
I mean, I would agree with Domini. Timekeeping and like finding the time and making the effort to actually go to the library, do the actual work is challenging at times. Obviously, at the end of the day, you're trying to get a degree, so you do push yourself at the end. But it's that initial push that you need, which you don't get at university, which you do get at school. Yeah, that's probably one of the hardest things.
Time management.
Yeah, and just.
And have you been able to manage your time well? Your own personal experience.
So far, I mean, yeah, I've always met the deadline, but it's like skimming the deadline. Do you know what I mean? It's every uni student goes through it, but it's.
So often when the deadline is the next day, you're at university at like past midnight writing your essay, and
I mean, we've all had experiences. I'm sure there's it's not just me.
Yeah, of course.
But I'm sure everyone's had the experience.
It's part of university, right? Yeah. Well, what about you? What's the toughest part?
Both of them, but organisation is a really big key because we have a lot of coursework, so to get it in on time and to manage your social life as well with your work is really difficult, especially near exam time. So that's quite hard.
Yeah. And tell me a bit about your social life at university. Do you have a lot of friends? Are you partying all the time?
Yeah, we partied quite a lot because obviously we're freshers, but going into second year it's a bit harder, so we've got to put our head down a bit and work more. Okay. But our social life is quite good.
Okay, very good. And are you putting your head down more and working?
I will, yeah. When I start in October, I'll try.
Oh, when you start? Okay, right. Okay. Well, what about you, sir? The toughest bit about being at university?
I think the university is like a social experiment because you're put in a social situation with thousands and thousands of people you don't know.
Yeah.
So I think it's just finding that right group for you because at school it's almost you have a selection like 120 people in your year. Correct. While at university you literally have you have like over 1,000 people, which more than thousands of people, which you can like sort of make friends with. So it's finding that group which is right for you. That
works for you, right? Yeah. And have you found your group? Have you found people who you like to hang out with?
Yeah, luckily we have like different types of friends.
Yeah.
So you have like friends you party with, friends you study with,
Yeah.
friends you like cook with, and like
Yeah.
so stuff like that. Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay. So tell me, I mean, when I say when I say the word life at university, what's that one sentence that of advice that you'd give to somebody who hasn't started university? I'll start with you, ma'am. The rule of the game is you're not allowed to repeat anything. Huh? That's any words of any pearls of wisdom from all of you. So tell me one sentence that you'd say to students who are looking to begin university.
Keep on top of your work, but enjoy yourself at the same time.
Okay.
Look out for societies. I mean, I was reluctant to join Hindu society, but once I did, it was probably one of the best experiences I've had. So just, bear in mind, join every society you can and have fun. Have fun at uni, that's the key.
Okay.
Don't stop yourself from doing anything. Like, don't let anyone's opinion sway your opinion. Just try everything out.
What all does that include?
Like stuff with maybe if you're not used to going near a certain friendship group and you meet different sort of people that you won't normally hang around with at school, just go and make friends with them because you'll really surprise yourself. I did.
Yeah.
So
have an open mind.
Yeah.
Use university as a platform to explore yourself. It's the only time you're going to get in your life before you start work, where you have 3 years by yourself to really enjoy and explore who you are and get your identity rooted at university, because that will shape your views for a long time after that.
Finding a job, is this a really kind of the defining issue for a lot of students in their as they approach their final year? I'll ask you this question first. I mean, you're in your final year.
Yes.
Tell me, is this kind of the most sort of important issue when you reach your final year?
Yes, definitely. I think it starts as a journey. So once you come into your first year, it's more about learning, personal development. It's a chance to really explore university. But as you're coming into your second year, I think more than your third year is when you really start looking into job prospects and what your career aspirations are. And I know for me particularly, it was in my second year, going into the second year summer, looking for a summer internship was really the defining moment where I thought I really need a job now. So by your third year, I think you really need a clear idea of where you want to go, because sort of it's already too late if you've graduated and you haven't got a job.
Is there a career in mind that you have decided that this is what I want to do once I leave university?
So I currently study pharmacy. So, within pharmacy you have community pharmacy, you have hospital pharmacy, you can go into research in terms of pharmacy as well, and industry. So there's so many different fields, and I think
you're in that phase when you're just figuring it out, going for lots of internships. And how's it been after you've left university?
Well, I studied fine art, and it's, when people hear it, they're a bit like, okay, so what is that? So basically,
what is that?
well, to put it simply, it's basically, my course was just how to be an artist and how to, learn about contemporary art and just establish yourself as the type of artist you are. And what I got from it, because I also did a lot of voluntary work, and that's the first thing I got stuck into, was a lot of gallery work. And it's by being there, I found that I'm still constantly learning. So even though my university.
So would that be your advice to both of these students or any other students watching this? Kind of take as many internships, work experience opportunities.
Yeah, if you've got the time and if you can do it, I think it's the best way it's one of the best ways to network. And from my experience, it is, if you know people who know people, it's that one step closer to where you want to be.
It's often about who you know rather than what you know. Is that true?
It's a little bit of both. It's kind of like you can know everything, but it's just easier to. It might just be easier for you if you knew someone, but then at the same time, if you know loads of people but you don't know your work, it's that doesn't work either.
Absolutely.
So
it's a mix of the two. Okay, you've got yourself onto a leadership program in a leading multinational company. Tell me, I mean, how did you secure this placement?
So I think it comes down to a mixture of things. I did something unusual because I actually studied a science, so I studied chemistry, but then so the scheme that I've got is not related to chemistry in the slightest, so it's a complete leap. But what helped, I think, in terms of the applications, the whole process, was that every summer was a summer of experiences. Now, whether that was travelling or working with SMEs, it was always about constant exposure, constantly pushing yourself to get a lot of experience under your belt. And
so what kind of gigs did you do when you were at university?
So at university, I started up a society, which was an NHSF society in New York. I also was chair of a charity, a student branch of a charity, so that was also something I did in my final year. And in my summers, I mainly worked with small companies in London and in the Midlands.
Okay, and tell me, I mean, how we hear of these, newspaper articles are written on this, and there's lots of discussion about this, that finding that kind of foot in the door is really difficult, especially if you're in a creative profession, especially if you're in a profession like politics, where it's kind of an unstructured profession. You don't know, there are many ways in, but you don't know about them. Tell me, who has found it really difficult? I mean, a real challenge to be able to crack this. I mean, any of your personal experiences where you've sent lots of CVs and you've got no reply and it's been really frustrating? Is that?
Oh, that's happened to me because it's just like I said, it's sort of when I left uni, I didn't know that many people and I found it really hard to network. But then I realised that through volunteering and through it's not the best of places to be where you're like, okay, I have to work for free, but sometimes you have to do it in order to get where you want to go. And through that, it was the best decision that I made, simply because I made so many connections. And now I've got enough people so that, where I want to go, I'll be able to get there. I know it just makes it easier now. So yeah, that's it.
But getting there was a bit of a challenge.
Yeah, getting there was a bit of a challenge.
What about you, ma'am? How tough was it to kind of secure this gig, and how many jobs did you apply to before this?
I think I took a different approach again. So you hear of a lot of students doing a lot of applications because a lot of markets are really tough to get into. I went for the quality versus quantity approach, and I took a lot of time to fill in a few applications with a lot of effort. So in that sense, I probably did less applications, but I did put a good few hours into them.